This damn paddle, baby. I'm trying to tell you I was scared. I'm like, oh my God. I was stealing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I stole the elephants. Life is a banyan, full and wide. Thank you for joining me under the beautiful banyan. This series is called Proof of Life, and this is episode 7, Miss Esco and the Elephants. This is a story about how I stole not one, but several whole elephants. My favorite teacher of all time is Mrs. Jean Esco. She was my teacher for several years at Jones Elementary School. Miss Esco had so much patience with me, baby. She had so much patience with me. She was kind, she was compassionate, she was really loving. She would give me hugs and stuff all the time. I think she just understood like what I needed as a little kid for sure. But I think she understood what I needed as a foster kid. If she didn't, she damn sure gave me a lot of love. And in my opinion, I think she gave me a little more attention and love than she gave some of the other kids. And I think that is why. This is when teachers were like extensions of your house. Like they were like more parents. They also had your parents' number at the house and your parents had their number at the house. So at any moment they can call your teacher or your teacher can call them and say, hey, she over here cutting up, right? Miss Esco had a pedal that hung on the side of her desk. It was a wooden pedal that was shaped like a guitar, and she done popped a couple kids with that thing, okay? Super sweet, but she will get you together. Her classroom was also super bright and fun, and she had like a bunch of like trinkets all over the place and just all these little doodads all in her room, to include some really, really pretty, colorful elephants. And one day I decided that without conferring with Miss Esco, that a few of those really, really, really pretty elephants should go home with me. I was stealing, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I stole the elephants. I didn't have a solid reason, I just wanted them. And so I took them home, I put them under my pillow. I hid them really, really well, right? Under my pillow. And over the next few days, I was playing with them. I was like, having school with them. Like I did all the things with these few elephants, with these little elephants for a few days. It didn't last long. Mm-mm. My foster mother found those elephants. And when I came home from school one day, them jokers was on the kitchen table, sitting pretty on the kitchen table. And I saw them and I was like, oh my gosh, she done found the elephants that I borrowed. And so when I came in from school, I see him on the table and she's like, yeah, come on in, let's talk. Now, my foster mother did not believe in like whooping kids. She thought she did, but I knew better because I knew what whoopings was. She would pop us with the fly swatter, not even hard, and we would fall out on the floor crying just so she would feel good about her disciplining. She didn't whoop kids. But Miss Esco, I knew she whooped kids. And so I'm like, oh, shoot. I got to take these jokers back. And I know she whooped kids for sure with this pedal. And so I come in the kitchen and mama like, where you get the elephants from? Um, uh, uh. And she's like, Maria, where did you get the elephants from? She know where I got the elephants from. Miss Esco, let me see them. You sure? Yes. Okay. She called Miss Esco right there at home. Miss Esco answered the phone like, nah, mm-mm. I was wondering where my elephants went though, but no, I definitely didn't. I definitely didn't let her know she could take them home. My foster mother said, no worries, she will be bringing them back tomorrow with an apology. When she got off the phone, she explained to me the difference between borrowing and stealing. Once again, because we already had this conversation before, I would take money out of her purse to give to my mother, and how important it was for me not to take things that were not mine. And she, let me know real pointedly, like, you're going to take these back to school tomorrow. You're going to give Miss Esco back her stuff, and you're going to stop taking stuff that don't belong to you. Cool. So all night, I am tossing and turning. Now, the worst of what was going to happen with mama already happened. That talking to her, being stern, her looking me right in my eye, like that was as far, she wasn't going to do nothing else. Like, and I knew that. Not that I took advantage of it, but I knew like I don't have to be scared. Like she not going to hit me. She not going to do that. She going to talk. She might make me go to bed earlier, like those type of things. But I knew the worst of at home was over. I was terrified to take my tail to school, to Jones Elementary the next morning. I was like, oh my God, I ain't never got whooped with the guitar, but I'm going to get it tomorrow. So I get up in the morning and I'm putting my clothes on. That's all that I can think about is this guitar. And Miss Esco, because I really, really liked her. But my primary concern was this, this damn pedal, baby. I'm trying to tell you, I was scared. I'm like, oh my God. So, real quick, this episode is brought to you by the Alignment Pack from the beautiful Banyan Institute, the full Connected Book series, the Vision It Portable Vision Board Book and Planner, the Core 4 course, and 6 months inside the Gen X Rebellion community with other women just like you on the same journey. If what I'm sharing is resonating, this is where you go deeper. Visit mariamichelle.com/bundle. All right, let's get back to the story. I walk into the school building. I got my head down, walk into the classroom. Miss Esco standing at the chalkboard. She writing on the board. And I walk up to her desk. She got her back to me. And I look over at the pedal. I see the pedal was there. I'm like, oh my God. And she turns around. I walk up to her, and I got the elephants in my hand. I walk up to her and I say, good morning, Miss Esco. And she turned around. I got the elephants. I said, I'm so sorry. I got your elephants. Please don't be mad at me. She sat down in her chair. She took the elephants out of my hand. She sat them on her desk, and she pulled me in close to her. Now, as she pulling me in close to her, my eyes are fixed on this pedal. I'm not looking at her. I'm making sure she don't reach. She pulled me in close, and she said, I'm not mad at you. Now, I'm almost between her legs, but the pedal was like touching her one leg, and I'm standing right here and I'm looking at the pedal, and she kind of took her hand and she pulled my face up and she said, look at me. She said, I'm not mad at you, but I am sad. She said, but you look sad too. Are you sad? And I just shook my head, yes. And she said, well, why are you sad? And I shrugged my shoulders and I was like, I don't know. And she said, you think you sad because you took my elephants? And I said, yes. And she said, did you know you wasn't supposed to take my elephants? And I said, yes. And she said, did you tell your mama that you borrowed them? I said, yes. And she said, well, did I let you borrow them? I said, no. And she said, okay, is that why you sad? I shook my head. And then she said something that I will never forget. She said, I think you took the elephants because they make you happy. Did they make you happy? And I shook my head, yes. And she said, are you happy right now? I shook my head, no. And she said, yeah, because you took them and you wasn't supposed to take them, right? And I said, yes. And she gave me this great big old hug, and I'm still crying. She gave me this great big old hug, and as she was hugging me, she said, it's okay. Maybe you thought my little elephants is gonna make you happy when you sad, and that's okay, because Miss Esco gets sad too. But you have to ask. You can't just take things that you want, right? And I said, yes. And then once she saw I had stopped crying, she tickled me a little bit, told me to leave her elephants alone, and she sent me onto my seat. I was so relieved. One, that I didn't get a whooping with that daggum guitar pedal. But then I also felt relieved that she wasn't mad at me, because I was really concerned about that. Miss Esco was like a safe space for me at school. I would go talk to when I was sad, or when I was missing my mama and I was at school, or when somebody in school was bothering me or teasing me about the way I dressed or whatever it was. Not even really about the way I dressed, about my hair, because it was at one point where my hair, I had wingworm and my hair was kind of patchy, and the kids would kind of tease me a little bit. And Miss Esco always came to my defense for any of those things. And so I was really concerned about her being upset with me because I stole her elephants. So I was relieved when I sat back down, because I don't think that I had caused any damage. You know what I mean? She loved on me. She loved me right through it. She talked to me. She talked me through it. She was compassionate. I was crying. She knew I was scared, and she just loved on me like a mama. You know what I mean? She was like my mama at school. She was so dope, so dope. What I didn't know then, but I'm really, really clear on now, it was never about the elephants. It could have been anything. It was never about the elephants. It was me trying to fill a void, make myself feel good temporarily for the pain I was in and for the sadness that I was feeling from being separated from my mother. And just, it was that. And Miss Esco saw that, and she saw past that. She saw past my behavior because she knew what it was. And I'm so grateful that she was who she was, because I can imagine other teachers would not have had that level of compassion and empathy and understanding. I truly believe throughout all of those things that I experienced during that time, God placed who I needed in my path to support me in coming out of it stronger and better and healthier and more aligned with who He designed me to be. And she was an integral part of that. I'm so grateful for that. Her response reinforced love and direction and compassion. And unbeknownst to me at that time, and certainly at that time, but then even some years after, it also was a compass or a direction or an example of the type of woman that I wanted to be. I wanted to be um, like her and many other women that were in my life at that time, but I wanted to be a woman of a girl or a woman of integrity, of compassion, to give second chances and to love somebody through a thing because I do understand the behavior. I understand the root of the behavior, the reason for the behavior. Like I wanted to be that, and she was one of the first examples that I got of that. Like years later, my foster mother would still write me and say, "Miss Esco asked about you." And actually, in one of the other episodes, I think the last episode, I kind of referenced it or read it in a letter. She would always say, "Miss Esco asked about you." She stayed um, in touch as long as she could, and then even after she couldn't stay in touch, she would always ask about me, and that means a lot. That means that I made an impact in her life as well. She certainly made one in mine, for sure. She made one in mine. To this day, I speak about Miss Esco often, at least a couple times a year. At least a couple times a year, I talk about her. That's an impact. So, the part of invested alignment that this story applies to is direction. Miss Esco was a compass for me. She not only corrected me, she redirected me. She gently nudged me towards better alignment with myself. She nudged me towards better alignment with God, with the woman that I wanted to be, and not even fully understanding that at that time. That's what she was doing for me. She was pushing me in this direction of integrity, of honesty, of being somebody who could be trustworthy. That's what she was doing. And I'm pretty sure she knew that. Um, because she seemed to be a very wise woman. I didn't know it though, but I'm very clear about that today. Okay, so the belief and the reframe. The belief was it's okay to take what you want if it makes you feel better or it fills a void. That was the belief that I had in that moment, right? The reframe is what I need in order to heal or feel better comes from God and from within, not from things or coping tools, and most certainly not at the expense of another person. And it will never require me to betray myself or anyone else. All right. At the end of every story, I give you what I call actionable integrations. These are things that you can take action on or integrate into your life immediately. So if this story resonated with you, here are 3 things that you can consider. Number 1, ask before you act. When you want something to soothe you, pause and ask, will this truly make me feel better or distract me from the work that is needed? Or worse, cause more things that I'll have to deal with down the road. Number 2, acknowledge the trigger. What can I do right now, this moment that I'm triggered to take the thing, to do the thing, to behave in a way, to show up in a way? What can I do instead to honor and respect how I'm feeling right now that will not push me in the opposite direction of where I want to go? And then number 3, Ho'oponopono. This is an ancient Hawaiian prayer or meditation, and it's supportive in helping you move through things. And it has 4 parts. The first part is 100% responsibility, where you just take the responsibility. The second part is forgiveness. The third part is gratitude. And the fourth part is love. So it goes like this. Please forgive me. I apologize. Thank you. I love you. So in the situation where I took Miss Esco's elephants, I would have talked to myself and it would have went something like this. I apologize, Maria, for taking those elephants. Please forgive me for thinking that I could take the thing and it would make me feel better. Thank you so much for being compassionate and loving towards me. I love you. I would have just been talking to myself to soothe myself of the guilt and of the shame of taking her stuff. And it can be used in any situation. It doesn't have to be directed towards you. It can be directed towards somebody else, and they don't have to hear it for it to be effective for you, right? So I hope that that was supportive. And I'm not sure if there's a correlation here, But I absolutely love elephants. I have a strong affinity towards elephants. I love them. They are all around my house. Like, I have a few shirts. This was actually a gift because the guy knew that I loved elephants so much. Like, I love elephants. I'm not sure if that was the case when I took the elephants off her desk or if that's something that happened as a result of those elephants that day. I am really not sure. People will buy me gifts. They're generally like some type of elephant trinket or something to that effect. I went to Africa recently, and the primary reason for me going was for elephants. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. If anybody knows how to get in touch with Ms. Esco, please send her um, this video. Please. I would love to see her and talk to her and just give her her flowers and let her know how much she impacted my life. I know I was never able to do that because I was just a little bitty girl. So if anybody watches this video and they know Mrs. Jean Esco, who was a teacher at Jones Elementary School in Detroit, Michigan for many, many years, I'm going to make sure I put the picture up as well as the years that I was able to find class pictures online. Please reach out to her and let her know that I love her and she definitely impacted my life in some of the most supportive ways possible. So that would be super dope. I feel like she's still alive, even though it's been so many years ago. I did kind of a loose Google search and I didn't see anything that would indicate otherwise. But please, 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 if anybody knows Mrs. Jean Esco, please share this with her. Love you, Miss Esco, so, so much. So there's that. Those are my seeds for today. Thank you so much for giving me your time and attention. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, continue to get invested in your alignment, drop some seeds that'll be of support to somebody else, and you continue to be a beautiful Banyan. If this spoke to you, the Alignment Pack or the Connected Self Bundle is where you go deeper. The link is in the description. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Invested alignment.